I forgot something. I forgot something and I had to get to it. So if anybody's still listening, great. If you're not, that's great. But I got to get to this so I can chop it up. I got one more story to share. I'll call this part two. Two, I'll make it quick. I ain't done. I ain't done. I forgot one more story. One more damn story. And I meant to share this story because I think this is some bullshit. So part two is going to be quick. I thought about it. I smoked a cigarette. I was outside and I said, nope, I got to get to this. It's on my list. I even put it in the description. Star Wars, the High Republic books. Variant covers. We have a wedding in Star Wars. A century before the Acolyte. The wedding spectacular. We're going to treat it like it was the Mary Jane and Peter Parker wedding that we all waited for as kids. I don't expect many people to come back for this, and I don't blame them. But I had one more story I had to tell. This is a new book coming out for the High Republic. I don't know who asked for this. It says Star Wars, the High Republic Adventures, The Wedding Spectacular. Legend series, what's up, buddy? This is my second go around, just so you know. I actually finished up my stream earlier, but I had forgotten this story and I wanted to share it because I saw this come up yesterday and I thought, oh, yes, what happened to Star Wars? Like, what happened to Star Wars? This is what happened to Star Wars. Earlier, I made a comment in the stream and somebody talked about, Star Wars burning like this fire behind me. Okay. And this is the reason why Star Wars is burning. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wanted this. Who is going to buy this book? Okay. Variant covers. 3 variant covers. All right. Star Wars The High Republic Phase 3, The Wedding Spectacular One-Shot will be published on the 18th of December. So this came out 2 days ago for $6. Dark Horse Comics. I just have to wonder. I just have to wonder who asked for this. All of us that grew up as Star Wars fans, we want to see Star Wars be good again. We want it to succeed. I talked about the Skeleton Crew show. It's actually been pretty fun. It's like Goonies. Every time you watch them talk about the marketing for the show, it was all about we want it to be Amblin Entertainment. We want it to be E.T. We want it to be Goonies. We want it to be, right, fun, exciting, for kids, right? Well, this is not for kids. Right? And this is a brand new book, The Wedding Spectacular. Now, I don't really care what your politics are. Okay? Like I don't, but here's the deal, Frostbite, right? Like assuming it's for same-sex couple Star Wars fans. Okay, sure, there's plenty of them out there. But have we what does this have to do with Star Wars? Right? And this is a series of books that have sold so poorly, terribly poorly, that you have cons where the authors and they have the book set up and there's no one in line. Like no one in line to get an autograph, to see whoever it is. You know, Yes, a simple answer. This is for same-sex couple Star Wars fans. Okay, that's fine, but I would dare say that most of them are not looking for a wedding spectacular in Star Wars. And I think when you take Star Wars and you look at all the problems that it's had in recent years, and then you throw one more log on the fire, right? Now, I'm not saying you can't have multiple Star Wars stories for people out there. But again, like what about this is Star Wars truly, right? Um it's it's indicative of where Star Wars is at as a brand and what Lucasfilm has done to it as a brand. And if you already were suffering from poor sales of this book because in the book already they have a lot of kind of the similar stuff in the book and you're wanting to reinvigorate sales of this book, I I just don't think this is the way to do it, right? Now, there's room for everything to be out there. There's room for all kinds of material and all kinds of movies and games and TV and everything. But when people wonder why things don't sell, when they wonder why video games don't do well because of the character designs or the agendas that are being pushed in the games, and then they go, well, this game wasn't made for you. Okay, well, the people that it's made for, they don't even buy this stuff. They don't support these products. So that's my question. Who is it made for? And if it is made for those folks, then why don't those folks buy it? It's like all the people, the Acolyte fans, who are spending money buying billboards in New York City, in Times Square, and other places. Renew the Acolyte, season 2 of the Acolyte. Well, if they'd have shown up and watched the Acolyte in the first place, it would have been renewed. So you already have a section of fans that didn't care for it and didn't watch it. But the people that it was made for, they didn't watch it either. They didn't buy the toys, they don't buy the comics, they don't buy the books. So that was, just something for me. It's like, I had this story on the back burner and I want to stay to a tight 2 hours. But my point is that if it is made for a section of fans, then why aren't they buying the products? And if they're not buying the products and normal regular people who like Star Wars aren't buying the products, and if 40 and older fans who grew up with the movies as kids aren't buying the products and watching the shows, then who's watching? Even the Skeleton Crew, which is a fun show, is not they're not supporting the products. So I'm not saying that they can't be made, right? I'm not saying that there's not a market for it, but evidently that market is very small. So small, in fact, that many of the shows that have been geared towards that fan base get canceled. People get fired. Video games get made. Uh, going towards a fan base that is not their fan base. And when the game doesn't do well, and then people get laid off, then everybody's like, well, it's because you hate these kind of people or you hate those kind of people. I don't think it comes down to that. I think it comes down to just human nature. It comes down to the majority of people aren't into this. They're just not. Do you have people that are? Yes, you do. But they're not big enough to support products because even they don't buy this. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times these stories are so surface level and they're written so terribly that even if someone truly wanted to support this product, even they find it hard as a normal human being to read something and realize how terribly written it is and how bad it is and how surface level the characters are portrayed as. So I just thought this was really funny. I wanted to come back for it for a minute because I just found that, look, love me, hate me, whatever. Don't agree with my opinion about it. That's fine. I appreciate the fact that someone at least feels strongly enough to say so or whatever, no matter who that is. And thank you, Wraith Mason. Good to see you, buddy. The fireplace behind me, a nice touch. It is temporary, kind of, maybe permanent moving forward. I'm moving my streaming setup around, and I'm in mid process, so that's why it looks like what it looks like. But but again, my question is, if the people this is targeted for aren't supporting it, and the people that are making it know that those people don't support their product, then you're just adding one more nail in the coffin for Star Wars, right? I mean, it just is what it is. So I don't understand, spending the money on it. I don't understand the marketing. I mean, three variant covers for something that's going to sell. I mean, this is going to be lucky to sell 10,000 books. I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, it just is. We could look at the history of the sales of the High Republic, and like the first book did okay, and then it literally dropped off after that. And you're talking about selling less than 100,000 copies, 10,000 copies. So I'm not saying there's not a place for stuff that targets fans or whatever, right? In their escapism, it's gotten to a point where I think people are just they're done, right? They're done, and so that's all I wanted to say. I find it fascinating for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The frozen part, the internet's been kicking in and out. I've got to figure it out. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm on fiber. I'm in an Ethernet hookup, but yeah, having some issues with the internet the last day or two, I guess. Real quick, I'll go to the chat. I know this is totally impromptu, and I came back, but I saw this, and I just kind of had to jump back on real quick. Um, you know, Requiem says they've Star Wars they've done Star Wars so dirty over the past six or so years. Um, yeah, I agree. And 3 Star says, I said it on stream part one, Disney keeps doubling down on it. And they do. And when you keep doubling down and it's not doing well and it's also turning off a lot of your fan base, then that's only going to turn into a negative. And that's where I think you almost need to have a subsection. You need to split off and you need to have your own just, hey, every single book we make is going to be for this audience, no matter what. We're going to set aside and we're going to say every single book we're going to make from now on is called Star Wars um, Pride or Star Wars whatever. And every single book, story, everything is going to be just literally those kinds of stories in the galaxy for people who are into that. But when you mix it into your regular content and you mix it into your mainstream audience, let's face it, folks, mainstream audience, they're not. I mean, who's your fan base with Star Wars? It's guys. Now, it's not young people as much anymore, but let's just say it's guys. And let's just say with video games, even your market is, 13 to 27-year-old young white men, generally speaking. But even Star Wars, your over 40 crowd that grew up with the movies, 98% of those people, or if you want to say 94% of them, let's say 6% are LGBTQ, whatever. The overwhelming majority are not into these stories. They don't find men attractive. They don't find, you know, uh, females that are attracted to other females attractive. They don't like those stories. They don't care about those stories. They don't want to read those stories. Um, that's just how it is. And so to deny that and just act like, you're going to force something on people and eventually they're going to appreciate it or like it because you force it on them enough is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're talking about history here. We're talking about human nature. We're talking about what people inherently, genetically are attracted to, and they have no control over that. Um, and so, to me, and I've heard it said before on like Chris Gore's film threat, where he's like, have it, if you're going to do this, if you're Disney, then just have a separate channel category department altogether. And this is all what you do. And then you just kind of separate it. Let me say, this is what it is. And if you want to tune into this, if you want to read this, then this is what it is. Now, I'm not saying that's not going to happen with this book. Obviously, people who see this, you either know you're going to buy this or you're not. But I dare say everybody in this chat right now is not going to buy that. Like they're not going to buy that and read it. Not a single page. So so for Star Wars moving forward, like that's the thing, right? Like we've gotten enough of it. Even the Skeleton Crew has a lesbian couple and one of their children has gotten on a ship and flown away and they're looking for their child. But here's the difference in the show. They don't go out of their way to make it a point for you to know. They don't announce who they are or who they're attracted to or that they're married or whatever. Instead, they just say, hey, our daughter got on a starship and flew off, and we don't know where she's at, and we're asking for help from the government to help us figure out where our children are at. And there's other parents in the room, single dad, married couple, whatever. But there's two moms who are together. Nobody cares about that. But when they do care about it, when a show goes out of its way to make sure that those parents are together, just like The Acolyte, they go out of their way to make sure the dialogue lets you know the two witches are together and they met and they can and this and like you don't need that in Star Wars. You don't need it. I mean, what other a Han and get off my ad here, bitch. You know, what other Star Wars other than like a Han and Leia wedding something or other, but those are established characters through the movies that have been together. You know these characters. You know what they're about. You know who they are. You know nothing about these characters. And of course, one of them has pink hair, right? Like, and of course, they're different races. Okay, fine. Who cares? That's life nowadays. Like I've shown people my prom pics. I mean, I don't care about that. It doesn't matter to me. But it's so disingenuous, and again, for a brand that has just fallen into the toilet, this is not going to attract new fans. And the people they're wanting to attract aren't buying these books. So then who are these books for? And also the High Republic, honestly, it's a series of books that are aimed towards kids. And I think that's the disingenuous part. That's the part with Disney that over the last several years we've seen is that they are going after kids. And for people that are parents, when people start marketing towards your children, and especially family companies like Disney, start to tell your children what you should think or what they should think, and without parents, that's when people have a problem. And as a parent, it's okay to have that problem. Like it's totally okay to have that problem. And so it's a story I wanted to bring up. I meant to bring it up earlier, and obviously, like I said, I'm having internet problems. I don't know what the he double hockey sticks is going on here with my internet, but real quick, just looking at the chat, yeah, Definite lag, muted, frozen, all kinds of frozen. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Try to get it fixed by next week. Frostbite says, I just assume that I'm old and not in touch with current Star Wars fans and don't understand the content. But see, here's the deal. You're not out of touch, Frostbite. And current Star Wars fans are not into these books. That's not, those aren't current Star Wars fans. See, Disney wants you to think those are current Star Wars fans, but they're not. You know why? Because current Star Wars fans, overwhelming majority of them are not into this. They're just not, because they are what we would all call, straight people, which is the majority of people. I mean, it's just facts, right? I mean, Wraith May says, Pop, I'm going to send you two new songs. Want to see your opinion? Absolutely. And I actually have a couple. If you guys want me to, I'll play them for you on here. A couple AI songs that I made. They're like theme songs for the show. And Clint, yeah, no, yeah, I did wait for you. And I already did a stream, actually, 2 hours worth. And I cut it off, and then I forgot that I actually forgot this story. Disney issued support for the Don't Say Gay bill this week. They're cracking a little. So here's the deal. If you remember when all that went down in Florida, um, initially they wanted no part in politics. And then Bob Chapek made a video just a couple of days later after stating that Disney didn't want to take a stance. And it looked like a hostage video. It looked like somebody was holding a gun to his head. And he's on this video, and it's a terribly shot video, but he looks like he's terrified. And he's basically saying, "Oh, no, we stand by blah 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 blah, and we are fully in support of, our creators here at Disney, and we're against this bill, and blah 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 blah." And the thing of it is, the Don't Say Gay bill is a complete misrepresentation of what it is, because it's not Don't Say Gay. It is that teachers do not need to be teaching second graders about trans or sexual content, period, whether that's hetero, trans, LGBT, LGBTQ, whatever. That's what it is. So it's not just Don't Say Gay. It's just you have a lot of teachers now in roles. Remember when your teachers used to be like 55 and 60 years old when you were in high school? Right? That's not really the case anymore. Now, I don't know if it's because teachers aren't getting paid or they just really don't, they're young and they get in the business. And I know there's turnover, but like when I was in school, all my teachers were old. Yeah, a lot of young teachers, a lot of young liberal teachers out there, and they're teaching stuff to kids, children, small children, that should not be taught. If I was in second grade at Granbury Elementary and I had a teacher who was trying to teach me about heterosexual stuff, about homosexual stuff, about trans stuff, that'd have been a problem. Because my mind at that time is not old enough to reconcile and understand what that means, nor do I need to know what that means in second grade. That's what the bill in Florida is about. That's what it's about. And yeah, Todd C, part two. It ain't over. I wasn't done yet. So that's my thing. Like, that's what the bill is. And so Bob Chapek at the time was the head of Disney. All of a sudden comes back out, changes his stance and said, we're against this bill. And it literally looked like a hostage video. If you go back and watch it, it's like he does not want to make this video. But he's been forced to make this video because Disney had been infiltrated by all these people. That's why you saw their content change from family-oriented, family-safe content to, hey, let's teach your 4-year-old why they're racist and maybe they're trans. And they've continued to do it. And it's just the truth. So that's why I find it very important. Like, very important. And they may very well be cracking a little bit, Clint. You know what I mean? And also maybe those tax breaks they were getting that they no longer get from the state of Florida, maybe that's part of it too. Three Star says that Republic is high, all right. High, I think anybody wants to read this. Yes, exactly. Come on, man. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, I'm open minded. I know contrary to what people probably think about me and some of the comments I've made, I'm open minded, man. I have been around the world, not the world, but what I mean by that, I've been around the block. And I've met a lot of people, dealt with a lot of people in music and other stuff. I mean, a lot of people. And yes, not everybody's the same and not everybody believes the same shit. But I've also been able to navigate those waters and have good relationships with all kinds of people. It doesn't mean I still don't have my own thoughts, right? So I will play you guys these songs. They're kind of short. I was not necessarily in the back of the class, but I sure as hell wanted to be, and I definitely would have blurted out "gay." That probably would have been me these days. But even back then, like, whatever shit. But I the reason I want to bring you guys that story because I did have it saved, and I absolutely somehow just flew right past it earlier when I started showing the Christmas pics and stuff like that, and so anyway, but let me see here. I'll bring this up. I'll let you guys hear these songs real quick. Some of them are kind of goofy, like just what they are. But at the same time, they're kind of fun. They were fun to make. It's a website called Suno. It's probably not as good as Wraith Mace's AI songs, but um, but I thought they were fun, and I made some different ones for me and Matthew. I made some for Matthew and myself, and so really quickly, let me make sure I have the right ones before I actually share this. Hang on, real quick, because some of these are super weird. Okay, this is a cool one right here. And I want to make sure that the volume is not too crazy loud. So you guys let me know if it's okay, if it's too loud, and I'll turn it down or up. But I'll pull it down about 25%. All right, you guys might like this, but it is fun, and I recommend anybody, especially if you have a channel and you're wanting to create songs. So this is kind of a country one that I made, and this one's kind of fun. Pop Blender, bring the stories loud and clear. Movies and TV shows that we hold dear. All the pop culture news you need to know. Like, share, subscribe, gotta catch the flow. Turn it up, the latest buzz in town. Pop Blender, spinning truth all around. Breaking news that's hotter than the sun. Join the ride and let's have some fun. From Hollywood Hills to the indie scene, every headline, every magazine. It's pretty sweet. Scandal, secrets, drama on display. Pop Blender serving it day by day. Turn it up, the latest buzz in town. Pop Blender spinning truth all around. Breaking news that's hotter than the sun. Join the ride and let's have some fun. From Hollywood Hills to the indie scene, every headline, every magazine. Scandal, secrets, drama on display. Pop Blender serving it day by day. Pretty good. Gossip, rumors, truth or lie. Tune in daily, don't be shy. Click the bell and stay in the loop. Pop Blender's your pop culture group. Turn it up, the latest buzz in town. Pop Blender spinning. That's pretty wild though, isn't it? Like just feed it some lyrics and off you go, right? You're like, hey, rock, country, something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty freaking wild. I did one for me and Matthew that was pretty funny, but they didn't come across as well. But some of them are kind of funky little grooves, like you know, some of them have the same lyrics, right? It's like this is in sync, y'all.
Slick and slide through the neon glow. Got the secrets that you need to know. Hollywood's flair, no lies, just truth. Cracking the codes with a detective sleuth. Pop blenders here with the glitter and gold. All the tales that the cameras unfold.
That shit is crazy. It is pretty funny, but yeah, like you guys would you guys would probably have a lot of fun just doing this on this website. It's totally free, and you can make like
Pop blender bringing news so sleek.
X
Headlines flash
amount,
fast every single
X
day.
amount a day.
Confusing gossip kills so chic.
Um,
Dropping knowledge,
but
dropping
it
knowledge.
really is funny, and
Pop blender on the rise. Serving news like fries.
serving news like fries. That's so.
Shine bright, but we dig deep.
I had one for let's see, for Matthew and I, and it's like Hollywood. It's like a show tunes. You know what I mean? Like this one right here. That one's not good. This one, this is the one.
The evening blend on nightly dose. TV shows and all that clothes. Toys and news and late nights glow. Turn it up and start the show.
It's pretty wild. But anyway, so yeah, I had a lot of fun. I did one that was like show tunes.
In the tinsel town go. We're talking films and comics, all you need to know. With Matthew's charm and Pop Blender's flair to the land of dreams, they take you there. Under the spotlights where heroes unite, action figures leap and mysteries ignite. From silver screens to pages bold, stories untold in Hollywood's gold. The evening blend where fantasies ascend, where blockbusters.
You can tell it's AI though, right? Like you can hear the wavering in the voice. It's kind of weird. I do have a friend though that has told me that he would record like a song. So pretty wild, kind of fun. But I encourage any of y'all. It's called Suno. Now, Wraith Mace, I don't know which one that you use, um, but um, but it is a lot of fun. It's actually a lot of fun to do. Just to play around. You type in what kind of song you want, and then you just kind of mess around with it. Put in what lyrics or really whatever. I mean, it's that easy, and so it's pretty funny stuff. There's another one that I did that for me and Matthew.
Lights dim low in the tinsel town glow. We're talking films and comics, all you need to know. With Matthew's charm and Pop Blender's flair to the land of dreams, they take you there. Under the spotlights where heroes unite, action figures leap and mysteries ignite. From silver screens to pages bold, stories untold in Hollywood's gold. The evening blend where fantasies ascend from blockbuster.
It's kind of like pop. It's so wild. Udio. All right, I'll look up Udio too, man. I'll look that up. But anyway, so Suno's fun. You guys should check that out. I had fun just messing around with those. There's some cool AI songs. Udio I'm not familiar with, but I'll check it out, see what it's all about. I'll save it as a bookmark. And I'm guessing you're using the free version or the standard version, Wraith Mace. You tell me. Um, free, 10 credit limit, um, standard processing, queue up to two concurrent generations, remixes to yeah. So let's see. It says just figured out how to get the same voice sound from a previous song so I can use it on new ones. Yeah, so all it takes is a little messing around. Yeah, I'm sure there's a K-pop. If you type in Todd, see if you type in K-pop and you type in like the name of your show or your screen name, right? So I typed in a just to give you an example, like I typed in a Broadway show song or in the style of Broadway with a show called The Evening Blend with hosts Matthew and Pop Blender, and it just took it from there. That's literally all I typed. I'm sure you can get much more, intricate and everything, but that's all I did. It was just that easy, and it was fun. It was actually fun to do, just to mess around. And so anyway, Shark Eye stopping in. What's up? What's up, buddy? So yeah, man, like it's fun to do. I recommend, especially just like try out the free stuff, right? Just the free version. Just have fun with it. I was trying to check see where my son went. Oh, he's watching videos. He's not over here warming by the fire, y'all, where he should be. I actually promised him I was gonna try out this VR mod. It's a VR game and it's like an arena fighter where you just have waves of people coming at you. But he downloaded a mod where you can play as a battle droid from Star Wars, like the first, the prequel trilogy. You can play as a clone trooper, and it has all the weapons and all the different stuff you can do. You can Roger, Roger, and uh, and you can fight guys, and they come at you, and they're in the same armor, right? So they're either battle droids or they're stormtroopers if you're a hero, or if you're a stormtrooper, they're the rebels. And you're in these big arenas, and you're fighting each other. And he's like, "Man, you gotta play this mod. It's awesome, man. It's just Star Wars." And you go to all these different locations. So you can go to Utapau. You can go to Palpatine's throne room, or Emperor Palpatine's throne room. You can go to Dagobah. You can go all these different places. It's freaking wild, dude. And so he's like, "You got to try this." So let's see. Wraith May says, really quickly, what's cool is if you produce a song, get it distributed, it ends up on YouTube, you get an official artist channel with cool music, no extra name. Okay, cool. Hey, that's awesome. That's great. Let's see. It's a bit of a pain in the beginning. I know what the fuck is happening, so you need to combine your artist channel with your standard channel. But once that's done, you're off to the races. All right. Well, I'll check into it. I mean, it was fun doing. I just thought about it just for the intro to the channel or outro kind of deal or whatever. I thought it'd be fun to have that, maybe make a video with it, and come up with something kind of fun. And it was fun. It's fun creating it. I know it's AI. It sounds like AI. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. But like I said, I do have a singer-songwriter friend who's a very talented person. His name's Austin Plain, Plaine. Very, very, very good artist. Austin Plain. And so I'd asked him about maybe writing a intro song for me. Um, Dude is talented, man. Oh my God, so good. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe might be live or real. It might be Memorex. We'll figure it out. If it's Memorex, then I'll be doing it on one of these programs right here. Really quickly, just to share it too. This is Udio. Here's the prices for the free, standard, and pro edition. Um, you know, Maybe one night I'll jump on here and just start messing around. Wraith Mace, you ought to actually think about doing that with some of your stuff too. Is just streaming and just showing people kind of your process, right? And just doing it and having fun. Um, you know, and yes, like he just said. He said, look, it is so much fun. AI is fun. It's the future. Frostbite. That's right. I mean, it is as long as it's kept in check, right? Um, and you know what I mean. And if we seem to think that somehow that's far fetched and not possible, then I think we're being naive. Let's see, you should get Shark Eyes to do a verse. He's got the singing voice of Jimmy Barnes, the old Jimmy Barnes. I'm looking for Jimmy Dean. You gotta send a Jimmy Dean my way. I love his sausage and biscuits, by the way. Those things are freaking amazing. You don't even need someone to sing something. Just grab his voice if given permission off a YouTube video and use that to create a verse of him singing. That's wild, man. Yeah, I believe it. And you've been doing some wild stuff. Dan Vasc is a guy I wouldn't mind grabbing his voice. Dan Vasc is an incredible singer. Dan Vasc. He's a Brazilian guy, and he has got some of the most amazing cover songs and rock. I mean, hard rock, like high singing stuff. He is amazing. Dan Vasc is a bad ass dude. Um, and it's yeah, Wraith, semi-serious about YouTube content. Learn the AI tools now. Yeah, because it's basically what's going to be going on. And really, once you start making money, it's about maybe hiring somebody to do that stuff for you. Because if you're making content on the reg, then you need somebody to be able to edit and do all that stuff for you. And that's just a reality of it, folks. It just is. You know, someone that's been working with this stuff for years is going to be able to pump shit out faster than you can while you're spending 8 hours editing a video or something like that. It's just the fact of the matter. And that's what all the bigger creators do is they have someone they know and they have someone who can edit and do their stuff. Even if it is easy, it still maybe takes away time from you doing what you normally would want to do, which is record your videos, make your reviews and stuff. Frostbite says, wait a minute, is this AI pretending to be Wraith talking to us using it? That is wild, dude. That's a rabbit hole I'm not sure I want to go down. Anyway, all right. So look, y'all, I wanted to come back for part two. I wanted to share that Star Wars story. And then I had mentioned earlier in the stream about sharing some of these AI songs just for fun. It is fun and it's really cool to do. And so I encourage anybody either get on Suno or get on the Udio, which Wraith Mace has been using, and just play around. Just have some fun. You will be sitting and grooving in your chair at what you and look. I played drums most of my life. I'm not gonna pretend like me sitting and like typing in the type of song I like and what the subject is me, playing guitar or bass or even playing my own drum part. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend that, but I think the results are fun for you. They are fun to look at and just have a good time with. And if you can parlay that into something else, then great. But it is just something fun. So if you like messing around with stuff, you just kind of like having fun and doing that, then check it out. Check it out. It actually is. So look, I am gonna hop off for real. Not only is it about 12:45 my time, but I still have Christmas shopping to do tomorrow. I have furniture to move because, as you noticed, my background is not my normal background. Um, it is one of my two TVs. One is stuck behind the other, and uh, and so I've got some shelving over here, which has been built into the house years ago. That I'll show you guys, I guess. Here, let me turn the camera to give you an idea. So here's the shelving right here. That is going to be in the background, filled up. It goes all the way to the bottom. And then I have a drum set, right, electronic drum set, which you can barely see because it's kind of dark over there. That's going to be in a different place so I can hook up my drum set to the computer and make it easier for me to play. And then I have now this desk that is transforms into a standing desk, which I'm doing right now. And I just got these in. Where did I put them? Oh, yeah. Which 3-star draw got. These right here. These are the lavalier mics. The Fifine, I guess, is how you pronounce it. But his quality on these sounds great. And they're not the most expensive. They're not Rode. But they are, they do sound great. And I've heard the sound quality he got out of his. This is something Punk's been using. I like to stand, I think, better on my feet, to be quite honest with you. It's what I do for a living. And so I wanted something that would allow me to be on my feet. And so there you have the two microphones and the receiver inside to place them in there and charge it up. And that way I can put one on. Now it's, the sound is not going to be as good as my Shure. This is the real deal right here. But for being able to do a review occasionally, or to be able to get in front of a green screen, which I have a very big green screen and custom framing for it that I made, and to do stuff like that, or maybe sit on my drum set and clip a mic to myself and maybe record something and talk in between, stuff like that. So that's what these are for. I recommend these. They're on sale for about $58 on Amazon, and they do have great sound quality. They get great reviews. You can spend $149 or $199 or more on the Rode setup, but this is probably going to get it done. And you guys are probably going to be treated. 3-star draws, got some reviews and some other stuff. He's using these. And I think once you dial the sound in and get your treble, your bass, your mid-range, and all that stuff, they sound pretty good. So those showed up today. Can't wait to do that. Anyway, so look, I appreciate you guys tuning in for part 2. I'm not going to go all night long. I did do a couple hours earlier. This is another almost 50 minutes. But I just wanted to bring that Star Wars story to you, which I forgot. I felt terrible about after I went outside and smoked a cigarette. And then I was like, oh, crap. And then I wanted to bring up the AI stuff. So, but anyway, so yeah, look, like I said earlier, man, I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas. I hope y'all have a great New Year's. And I'll be back next Friday. And next Tuesday, me and Matthew will have pre-recorded content once again. So, so yeah, but in the meantime, man, I appreciate y'all showing up. I am going to sign off one more time for reals though. But yeah, y'all have a great Christmas. I'll see y'all soon. Thanks again. And thanks again for showing up for part 2, man. Appreciate it. See y'all.